City of Stevens Point Sustainability Commission meeting, recorded December 4th, 2025.
Okay, it's 5:37. This is the meeting of the City of Stevens Point Sustainability Commission. I will take the roll. Heather Phelps.
Here.
Robert Mitch.
Here.
Doug Stengel.
Present.
Allison Burr, Alderman District 5.
Here.
And Sam Lang, Alderman District 9. Can you hear us, Sam?
He's muted.
Oh,
I see him.
He was just there.
He's here. I muted him though.
Yep.
okay. All right, so we're all here. We do have some guests, Thomas Hoover, Xander Lebrecq, Quentin DeBoer, and Nathan Sandwick. I believe they're all students. Nathan is also on Zoom, and Sam Lang is also on Zoom. And then I am the chair, Greg Knight.
We also have a Sam Weir on Zoom.
Oh, okay. Okay. So first I'll have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 6th Sustainability Commission. Those minutes were attached to the agenda. Were there any questions or corrections to November 6th minutes? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that approves meeting minutes from last month. So tonight's presentation then will be by Sylvia Lopez, Northcentral, Northeastern Energy Advisor for Focus on Energy. Focus on Energy is a program the City of Stevens Point has utilized in the past. And so Sylvia is the city's new representative for Focus on Energy. And she's going to speak to us tonight about that program and how it may apply to City of Stevens Point and what we might do to keep that program working for the city. So I'll turn it over to Sylvia. She has her presentation.
So I'm going to attempt here to share the screen on Zoom.
And we will see if it actually
And we'll
works.
see if it works.
Letting us get one step farther each time.
Yeah. Just do content only.
Huzzah!
Ooh.
Victory.
Big things.
It's the little things.
So Greg introduced me a bit, but I'm Sylvia. I am new to the Focus on Energy program. I'm a recent alumni of Stevens Point, which I loved going to. So if you are a student, hoorah. Happy to be here to help out. Click this one here. No, use the mouse. Okay, so just an overview of kind of what I'm going to go through today and kind of talk about. We're going to give an overview of what Focus is, what our program is, how we can kind of help out. Just an overview of what Stevens Point has done the last 5 years. We're kind of going to take a look at your involvement with our program on our end and just kind of go through specific projects. Other energy saving opportunities in general that we do offer that you guys may find interesting and or something kind of discuss and look forward to the future. General resources technology assistance that we offer as Focus on Energy as a whole program outside of just me. And then we can walk through some questions at any time during the presentation. Feel free to ask a question. Some of you are muted within the Zoom chat, so feel free to type it in the chat. If you do have a question, I'm not able to hear you. And then I'll have my contact information again at the end. So feel free to ask me any questions or call me that way. I keep trying to hit that one. Oh, it's kind of blocked for you guys.
Yeah, you can move them along the bottom. Usually that's where Mike puts them. Yeah, down there. That's usually what he does. Perfect.
Oh, I see. That's nice. Okay. So kind of what we do, we help Wisconsin residents and businesses save energy. That's our main kind of thing. We offer energy saving support in terms of participating utilities. A lot of time it's public utilities that are the participating ones. So that more southern, northern area you get into Wisconsin, that's kind of where we fall short in those private private utilities. And in terms of public ones, they're paid into. You guys get the money for the program and get to be involved within Focus. And another main goal that we have is to provide financial rebates and incentives to help with energy-saving upgrades in terms of building upgrades. And we'll walk through a little bit of those later on of what that kind of looks like. So just for an overall economic impact, for every dollar that is invested into the Focus program, it creates $4 in benefits for the state of Wisconsin. It's just a general fact that I thought was good to put in there. And benefits of Focus on Energy, just a general overview of kind of what we do. You do get the support of having your own energy advisor, which is me. You can call me at any time. I'm there to help, there to put on what we can do for you, specifically for the city of Stevens Point. We can also help create energy team coordination. So if you guys are looking to make great teams or situations like this where you're looking me to come in, speak, help out, kind of promote our program, that's something that we can do. We also have training, like faculty staff. We have it within our website that we're able to go on there. You look up training, like Focus on Energy training. So there's opportunities for trainings and building certifications and other opportunities such as that. We improving return on investment. So that's where that financial piece comes in, where we do provide funding for projects, and we can provide information of what your ROI looks like for certain buildings or projects that you're looking to do. And in general, supporting energy education. Just like today, I'm coming in talking about things that are good for your energy usage at home and or within your building and a community center versus what's not. So kind of diving into what you guys have done over the 5 years here. So for the police department, it looks like you had multiple upgrades, like lighting upgrades. Overall, you're kind of going to see here a pattern of a lot of lighting upgrades. It looks like there was a lot of fluctuation to LED lighting, which is good for energy efficiency. There you have a few street lighting projects here. A lot of them are happening in 2020 and 2021. Parks and Recreations, you had some solar PV installations in December, so just around this year, or around this time last year, and then some in 2024.
Sylvia, I don't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Can we check the chat? I saw Sam kind of unmute, and I saw something pop up in the chat. I'm wondering if maybe there's
How do I
something
get
going
to
on.
the chat?
I think it's just hidden actually behind all the figures.
So yeah, you might have to move.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Says he doesn't
Don't have audio. Is the Zoom needed for anyone else?
So come over to the audio and click the arrow next to it on the bottom left. Yep.
Now, do we have any idea which is like the helpful audio?
Yeah, I mean, is it the computer or is it the system, community room sound system? I don't know the answer to that.
I would assume they have it all set up how it's supposed to be.
That's kind of what I thought. But we are not muted.
Yeah. Well, we could try one of the others and see if Sam types anything else helpful in the chat.
I will say brief intermission, everybody. Oh, am I presented as Mike? That's funny. Yeah, I think Sam messaged me privately, but not to the group.
It would definitely be helpful if they had a version of the
Not hear
screen. that we
anything. I
could see.
tested my headphones. They're not working. Oh, okay.
Well, go down the list.
I would maybe go to the audio and try the, probably, oh boy, I would say probably microphone. I guess we could try that, or computer, and just
Yeah.
go down the list, but up to microphone, yeah.
Yeah.
To do computer?
I haven't heard a thing.
How about now?
Can you hear us?
Can you
Here's
now?
now.
We can't hear you.
No, we
dude.
can't hear you.
Hey, Sam, can you hear us now?
Yeah, there's no sound on the Zoom stream.
Okay, try another one.
Yep, we're working on it. We're trying. Yep, go to the next one. Up
Oh,
to microphone.
just kidding.
I don't know if you're talking to me at all.
Oh, no, I just muted myself.
Yeah, try that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, now
About
can you
now?
hear us now?
There we go.
Oh,
Hey, all right.
all right.
Got
So
it.
let's just check. Which one was that worked?
Was the third one down?
Microphone.
microphone.
Okay, we now know.
Microphone, okay.
Okay. Should I go back a little bit or no?
I think, let's just keep going.
Okay.
We have the slides.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
We're done there. Okay. Now that everyone's hearing me okay. We're just kind of walking through what Stevens Point has done the past 5 years and looking at specific facilities and areas that you guys have touched on for projects. So for community facilities, the Boys and Girls Club did a lighting project in 2021, and then recently in September, the Willett Arena just did some LED lighting that we were able to get in there. And that was a pretty smooth process. I was actually able to work on that one, and it went very well. In emergency services, the fire station had a lighting HVAC upgrades in March of 2024, and then their Parks and Rec had a furnace replacement. And just a total of summary savings, the total amount of incentives that you guys received was just a little less than $35,000. In therm savings, it was around $3,000. KWH savings was over 800,000. Pounds of CO2 avoided was just over $1 million. And then the estimated annual utility savings was around 100,000. So some of the opportunities and kind of why it's important that I think to kind of get involved with Focus is these energy efficient upgrades, they extend the lifespan of community equipment. So if you're looking at HVAC specifically, we'll go through it, but boiler tune-ups are really important. It's important to take care of your equipment, and we help be able to fund the opportunity to do that because we understand that's not always in the budget. It lowers utility bills, obviously, if your equipment's running as properly as it should be, and or if it's new equipment that's coming in and replacing older equipment, your building's going to run more efficiently, thus you're going to have a lower energy usage and lower bill, which kind of allows your communities to use that money into something else or infrastructural needs. Something that's closer to my heart is it supports community-wide efforts for carbon footprints. I came from a sustainability background, that's why I applied for this job, and I really do enjoy being able to help access the energy world, because if we relieve the energy grid, that's helping the environment. Even if it's little steps, it is something. So just kind of diving into the rebates and that more that financial side of what we do. For standard rebates, these are things that are going to be one-for-one replacements. So if you're buying a new fixture, if you're getting a new boiler, if you're getting a new chiller, those are that one-for-one kind of equipment pieces. That's where we can kind of help out. We have standard set incentive. Oh my God, we'll just call them rebates. I do have sheets in the back too. Feel free to check those out. That's more of our specifics of you get X amount of dollars per equipment. It kind of dives a little bit more deeper into that, so feel free to check those out and keep them if you'd like. They're also on our website here at Focus on Energy /catalogs. We are coming out with new 2026 ones. There'll be new rebates that they're adding onto it, and they should be relatively about the same, so we shouldn't see any decreases. So in terms of that, for 2025, it was a higher rebate offering than the past previous years on select equipment. So we're looking at about 30% of increase. In 2026, we're not necessarily sure what that looks like quite yet, but I do know there's newer opportunities in that realm. In general, working with your energy advisor to confirm qualifying equipment is important. The reason that we are working in the equipment that we're looking for is energy efficient equipment. We don't want you installing the same thing if it's not working and it's not running as efficiently could. The purpose of these incentives is to be able to help boost you into that next step of getting the energy efficient equipment versus the not. In general, I kind of touched about it before. Those long-term savings by reducing those energy costs and improving the efficiency is really important. That's kind of where we come in. For planning-wise, I'll touch on it later, but we do offer a 10% increase bonus on these prescriptive rebates that we do. So just of your total bill, we'll add another extra 10% for that project for just letting us know if it's 3 days before, if it's a week before, if it's 4 years before. We want to know about it just to help out, and we give you an extra 10% on the project. For custom incentives, so these are things that if you're not just replacing one equipment, if you're not just installing something, you're kind of switching something out. This is for something if you're doing more of an operational change, if you're looking at doing pneumatic to DDC controls, so HVAC controls. That's where this custom incentive comes along. And below here, you'll see just some of the numbers. So if you're doing a project that has to do more with kWh involved, then that's where those energy savings are going to be. If you have any project that you think that you're doing in the building that you think is going to help save energy in any way, contact me, and I will see what we can do, and we'll do some math on our end and get you something for it. In terms of new construction, there is a specific timeline that kind of has to be followed, and it might not go through me, but I'm happy to contact you to the right people for it. We have a team called EDA, our Energy and Design Assistant team. They are kind of going to come in when it's those larger new construction projects. That's kind of where they come in to help out. But there is a kind of a timeline. They need to help you be part of the design process. So there is a timeline. It's kind of laid out here a little bit. So this is the optimal time to come in when you're planning and you're designing your new construction build. When you get more in the construction documents and the bidding and the estimating, there are opportunities still available, but you're going to be put into the energy and design review team. Then if you had started construction on the project and you're just looking to kind of get in, that's where that prescriptive incentives come in, where we'll look at what chiller you're installing, what lights you're putting in, and that's where those like one-on-one incentives will come in versus a whole new construction build route. And then if it's moved in and that's 6 months of occupancy, so if people have been in there, 60 days. Good Lord. 60 days of occupancy, so if people have been kind of coming into the building, using the building already, it's too late for us to offer any incentives. I will also share this slide at the end if anyone would like it so they can review any of this information. For renewable energy incentives, there are custom incentives available, what I touched on a bit ago, for biogas, biomass, solar, thermal, wind, and hydroelectric. And to the right here, you'll see some of the more depicted and valued dollar that we can offer. For solar PV, so those 2 installations you had at those parks, they are available through our Renewable Rewards program. And again, I know this is a lot of information, so if you are acting on these things, contact me. I will do the work. I will walk you through. I'll put you to the right person. But just so you're aware. And going into that project support, so we do have a project assessment incentive where 50% of the assessment to evaluate and create energy efficient solutions will cover up to $15,000 of that cost for you guys. That project planning bonus that I touched on before of just letting us know if you guys have pre-planned projects you're gonna do, we offer that 10% boost just for kind of keeping us included and letting us know. We do a rural electric reduction accelerator. This is for rural zip codes. You might not apply because you are a bigger city for Stevens Point, unfortunately, but a few of the villages in your area do apply. And then general just building optimizations. We can do more non-formal like walkthrough energy audits within buildings to kind of see where you're faulty and where we can kind of help you out a little bit. So now we're going to kind of dive in. I won't go too in depth unless you guys would like me to, but we're going to dive into a little bit more technical detail in terms of what we're looking at and where we kind of come in for financial rebates. So we do fixture and retrofit kit upgrades. So that's like lighting fixtures. It can be anywhere from $6 to $75 per fixture. We do lighting control rebates, so day lighting controls, occupancy controls, any network lighting controls. So when you walk into a room and the lights turn on, that's kind of where it is. So we do, those are kind of a summary of our more prescriptive lighting. For HVAC, heating and cooling systems, ventilation systems, those digital controls that I touched about before, those DDC. Heat pumps, we can explore geothermal systems. We've helped out with projects like that before. So there's opportunities there. We also do incentives for boiler tune-ups, where I kind of touched on it, making sure your equipment is up and running and properly, and boiler tune-ups do help boilers last longer in the long term. So it is an important thing to kind of do, I would say, every 3 years at least. But we do offer a financial rebate for that as well. We do have a roadway bonus, but it's not for you guys, unfortunately, because it's for it's for smaller like rural municipalities. Yeah. Unfortunately, you are not, but you still do get a bonus for roadway lights. That does come included. You just don't get the extra 50% bonus, which makes my heart sad. But obviously, it says it's December 31st, but that's just for this bonus. And the next year comes, and we'll do the same thing again. We also do retro commissioning projects. So this is just in doing like existing building equipment operations. If you're looking at kind of just switching out little things, making things more efficient, we can also do incentives for that as well. So just to touch on some of the more technical assistance that we do offer, working with me, I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to be a resource. So if you have management plans you'd like me to be involved in or get my eyes on, if there's equipment you'd like to, like, hey, have me check out, contact me. I am here to help and serve you. We can coordinate media and PR opportunities, so if you would like to do a check presentation when you receive money for us, that's something where we can do. We present a check, put that out there. I sent it over, but some of that data of calculating the carbon, excuse me, my voice, the CO2 calculations and some of that KW savings, doing that kind of math in those projects, that's where we can kind of come in and do that math for you and help you out. So again, use us for your resource. Not that any of you are living anywhere else, but if you do, this region here, number 3, this orange one, that's going to be, I wonder if this is good for colorblind people. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about that. This region 3 here, this is going to be my region. Obviously, that includes the city of Stevens Point. But there are 7 other energy advisors. I utilize them all the time. We work as a team to help you guys out the most, so it's just not one brain. You have a multitude of skills coming in. And especially I like to shout out Joe. Joe does a fantastic job. A lot of times for wastewater, so there's a wastewater facility here. We do help out with projects of those and can kind of come in there, and I know that they've been looking to do some upgrades recently as well. We also help to create energy teams. So we have an energy toolkit online that just goes through like energy policies, things that can kind of work within your community and how you want to see a more team that's based on energy solutions and energy efficiency. We can kind of help come in and help direct that. We do have a best energy practices guide. It's a little bit more technical. I put I think 2 or 3 of them on the back over there. If you'd like a physical copy, feel free to take it. It just kind of gives an overview of technology usage, HVAC control. It goes into a little bit more depth of where you can be more efficient with your usage of your energy, especially within a government facility setting. I'm going to touch just on a few things, and we're almost done. Everyone, hold on. We also have trade ally support, and trade ally, I remember coming in and not necessarily knowing what that means. It's just contractors that have agreed to work with us and agreed to help out. So there are a lot of contractors actually within Stevens Point that we work with frequently. They know how to work with us. They know how to get you the qualifying equipment, and they know what that means. So they kind of help completing with the paperwork and everything. So a lot of the times, there's not a ton of work, especially for those prescriptive rebates that you guys have to do. You can contact your contractor and say, hey, I'd like to work with Focus on Energy for this project. They will contact me, send me all the paperwork that I need, and all you guys have to do is sign something. So we really like to relieve that on you guys so you're not sitting there doing paperwork, and you can kind of focus on helping the community. The final thing I will touch on, and then I will stop talking, is training and education. We do offer things on our website I just gave out those packets there. We offer trainings on our website, so you can look up trainings. They'll come up with all different kinds of energy efficiency knowledge. We also offer scholarships for the building operator certifications. I think that's done every 6 months it goes through, because it's a 6-month long program. So if there's facilities people that are interested in doing something, that we offer scholarships, so we're able to do those trainings. And that is the spiel that I have.
Okay, so we'll turn it over to commission members. Questions, comments, discussion.
So I'll jump in with a question on something you mentioned right at the very end there.
Yeah.
So the trainings, on your very last slide, who's the audience that should be taking those trainings?
That's a good question. I would say a lot of the facilities teams. So a lot of the facility guys, they're pretty knowledgeable on the equipment that they're working on, but in terms of boiler tune-ups and knowing when to do those, how often to do them, just kind of, even if it's just a refresher of updated information of what are efficient ways to run the building, they may know everything, and they've been working, maybe a lot of the facility guys I run to, that they have a lot of knowledge and they've worked there for a long time. But it's an opportunity for them to get something on their resume and a certification, as well as just a refresh of good tactics. It goes through grants and opportunities of where they could use, and if they're looking to do upgrades, how to communicate that, how to work with the people in the building and how to compromise. So if a lot of times people will be like, oh, it's cold in here, and they're trying to figure out how to communicate properly of how they're running the building and how to communicate that. So I would say a lot of facility staff is a really good place to put the building operator certification. If it's not already automatic, I would do people who are kind of behind the scenes within the building.
Our commission has been doing a lot of fact-finding and gaining information a little over the past year, and you've touched on a lot of various things we've been hearing from other areas, and I think what you just mentioned is probably one of our main recommendations that we would probably make to the City of Stevens Point Council, is to have a lot of people take this training. I think that's a logical recommendation that we would make.
Yeah, I actually took this training as well, and it's been a very, very good learning experience. And you have people in there a lot of times, especially more in the rural areas. You'll have people who just step in to be in charge of the building because they know the most in that area. And if you ask anyone working within facilities and maintenance, they'll tell you it's a learning experience every day. But it's really good because they'll give you information, upgrade equipment or equipment that is coming out recently, how to use it, when you should upgrade it, how you should take care of your equipment. They may know how it runs, how to work it there, but taking care of it is equally as important.
I should mention too that Sylvia's PowerPoint, we'll put that on our commission emailing list so everybody can get a copy of that, and I'll also forward it to all the department heads.
Looks like there's someone trying to get in if you want to just admit them. Perfect.
Thank you.
Sorry, Gary.
Okay.
And I suppose we can also stop sharing in case any questions come in from the Zoom audience, then we will actually know that.
Drag them all the way back up here. There you go.
Okay. One question I had too, with the city looking at, I don't know what council members know about this, but so with the new city hall, is there an opportunity for Focus on Energy to be involved with that process, before? Is there going to be new construction with that or remodeling or?
Yeah, last I knew, I guess, I believe we voted, to do new construction because there was just too many variables with
the old building?
With, remodeling.
Okay. And so, being that hasn't started yet, this
Right.
would be an opportune time to involve Focus on Energy then?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would say, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Focus on Energy is an amazing program, and we are incredibly lucky in Wisconsin to have it. It was created because I'm not sure you can trust utilities who make money by selling energy to incentivize efficiency. So the city, or not the city, I'm sorry, the state, in their wisdom back in the 80s, said, let's create a public benefits program, and we call it Focus on Energy. So that is a wonderful thing, and we are incredibly lucky in Wisconsin for having that. So it's an amazing thing, and we here in Stevens Point should take advantage of it as much as we can. My question, and I fear you may not have an answer yet, and that's okay, is the way that solar PV incentives, so I come from a solar PV background, they're gone at the federal level. And so they're essentially gone. There's a very small window that maybe nonprofits can still get some if construction is started by July 4th of 2026. But that'd be real hard. I mean, that's a hard pressed thing to do. That's a very short timeline. I am hoping that Focus on Energy is going to recognize that and understand the value that comes from adding solar PV and the reduction of energy consumption, and incentivizes it properly, and even potentially brings back the Renewable Energy Competitive Incentive Program.
Okay.
Because that $25,000 cap is basically, for a commercial sized project that we might do at the city, is not a lot and is not going to move the needle probably to say go or no go. And oftentimes with the RECIP program, which was probably 5-6 years ago, it was done away with and everything just went to a standardized incentive. You were able to write an application, and you had to do a lot of applications and show the benefit to the program in that particular community and the savings that would have it, and then you had a chance to potentially get more than what that $25,000 was. And so I worked with Director Lemke to write one of these grants for the solar array that's on the Stevens Point Utility Garage, and that got us a really nice incentive that allowed that project to happen. So I would fear that that the solar industry is going to be facing some strong headwinds in 2026, and it is an industry that employs hundreds, if not thousands, of people across the state, and for it to continue to grow is going to need some support from Focus on Energy that we are no longer getting at the federal level.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are not, I will say you are not the only one to provide that feedback to us.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, we have heard that, and I mean, I've only been with the company for a few months now, but I have learned about that past program, and there has been a lot of talk about bringing that back up. I'm not sure if it will be, but I do know that in 2026 they are looking to address more of those solar PV projects, just because there has been a lot of conversation about it. Yeah. So.
Do you have an inkling? This was always the question I asked when I worked in the PV industry: is when are those 2026 incentives going to be available? When are we going to know?
I'm in the same boat with you, because I want to know, because I want to tell you guys. Because I was bummed. I was like, God, I was hoping I could kind of get my boss to sneak it and slap.
Sure.
Me, but
Yeah.
she said no. But they should be. We'll find out in the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I think they go public January 1st.
Yeah. So if that'll be something maybe that we can get around to the commission and other folks once it's around. So if you want to share it with Greg, maybe you can share it with the team, because that'll be important to know, right? Because when you look at when we look at maybe planning or talking to people about potential projects, whatever they are, where we can take advantage of those incentives to get the most bang for our buck is great. And so if we see that design as quickly as we can start to think about those things a little bit more.
Yeah.
In fact, I just heard the news today that the Couillard Solar Foundation is officially winding down, not immediately, and they're hoping their Solar for Good and Solar on Schools programs will continue under, other auspices. But it is definitely disappointing to have that solar champion leaving us right as all the other headwinds are hitting right at the same time.
Okay. One question I had, too, is should we try to facilitate an opportunity for you to meet with department heads, or should we just let department heads contact you individually, or what's the best way for, I guess my question is have you had opportunity to get around with the city departments or meet anybody in the city?
Yeah, how can we facilitate that happening?
Yeah.
I think it's hard in the way that I'm new to the role, and we do it where I'm just cold calling, so I don't think it would hurt to set up a meeting just to introduce me, so it's somebody with a friendly face introducing me, because the focus, as great as it is often put as a sales program, but we're selling to give away money. So it's like hard, and it sounds really hard when I'm on the phone and I'm like, hey, we have a check for you, and they're a little like,
Yeah.
do you? So I just worked with, I think it was the Parks and Rec department head for that, for the ice rink lighting, and that went very, very well.
Okay, so you have met with Parks and Rec?
Yes, I believe so.
With Dan.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it would be beneficial to have a meeting just together so I can have a friendly face introduce me.
It might be a good opportunity once those new incentives for 2026 are known. That would be a really nice time to have that conversation. Like, hey, I would just want to let you know what we've got going in 2026. So that you as a department head and any projects that you might be working on or looking at, you can take advantage of this free money, basically.
Yeah.
It's not quite that, but it is.
Money you have already paid for through umpteen years of utility bills.
So I can send out an email to all the department heads and ask them about it and see if we can get some interest about setting up a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask this question, what are we looking at? Probably February, March, April? What would be a reasonable time frame that I could throw out there as a possible meeting?
I would do February, because projects start to come up in March when weather gets warm and seasonal change. That's when they start to retake a look at what they got going on. So I would say February.
Okay.
But I'm also available every day, so.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be the other part of the message, is that you're flexible to meet sometime during the day when we
Yes.
can get them all together.
Yeah, and I can come in person.
Yeah.
It is my role to come in person, but I'm also just 30 minutes away, so.
Yeah, I think that would be the best, is an in-person meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I will see if I can make that happen. And so is there any questions from the folks out here in the audience that you might have for on the presentation? Or I think it's really good about what the city's been able to accomplish over a 5-year period with focus on energy.
Yeah.
A lot has been done, and so one of the goals of tonight's meeting is to sort of reestablish that connection with our new Focus on Energy representative here tonight. And if we get the meeting set up with the department heads to kind of reconnect those connections to keep the program going. And then I guess the other observation would be with the potential new City Hall construction. Now's a good time to start having those preliminary discussions to see where Focus on Energy could fit into that planning process, and certainly come up with ways to save the city money on that project.
Absolutely.
And I guess I don't know, I'll put this question out there too. I had, as far as city is going through a building code rewrite,
Or zoning code?
or zoning code, I guess. But I think it also involves building codes, or am I right about that, or
I
not?
don't think we're allowed to set building codes at the city level.
Oh,
I
okay.
think building codes are state level, and it's the zoning code, but zoning can also impact some elements of building design. Where those limits are, that would be a question for Adam. But yeah, I think it's zoning codes that impact buildings because buildings are what you build in the different zones.
Okay. Yeah, I guess my question for Sylvia is, do you know of any examples where Focus on Energy has been involved with municipalities or cities on their zoning code rewrites? Or there's sustainability aspects to some of those. And
Yeah. I don't know about zoning codes. We would fall more into the building, but I see how that would impact. I have not heard any stories about zoning, but I can
Okay.
dig some up and figure it out, and I will send you something back.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see Sam is unmuted. Any questions, Sam? Okay.
I did want to make a note, just for setting up that meeting with the department heads, that we do, it's not just projects that you're like, oh, we want to do this for energy efficiency and this is good, and there's a whole mumbo jumbo behind it, but it also is, if your boiler breaks, we need a new chiller, something doesn't work. So it's not always a big thing. We need new lights because they're dead. Like, we come in there too, so,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. That's good perspective.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times they're like, oh, it just broke and we have to get it. In terms of like, when you talk about the free money of having to pay for it, you're buying it anyways. That's where we are there to help you out.
Okay. Okay, that's a good point. Is there any other discussion or questions from commission members for Sylvia, or anything you want to discuss tonight along the lines of that program?
Yeah, I'd just love to see us utilize it as much as we possibly can. I'd love to see that number that you had for those dollars there. I'd like to see that grow
Yes.
significantly. I think there's probably some really good opportunities that we can take advantage of going forward.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay, so I guess if there's no more on that part of the presentation, the rest of the agenda, then item number 3 on the agenda is discussion of Sustainability Commission meeting calendar. And I'm just putting out the question there. You have a copy of the calendar, I believe, on the agenda that was attached. And I just wanted to that's the most updated calendar as of December 4th. On the bottom, we're planned out until March 5th. So our next meeting is going to be February 5th. There's no meeting in January. February 5th will be a Zoom meeting with the City of Middleton's Sustainability Committee. They have a committee structure, so we're going to hear from them about their planning process. They're much farther along, so they can kind of help us map out how we want to put our plan together. And then March 5th is going to be a presentation from Recycling Connections. So there's a list of other potential presentations and topics. So just think about those as far as the future meetings, especially after we meet with the City of Middleton. I would, as you have time, the rest of this month, but especially into January, since we don't have a meeting in January, is start putting down your own thoughts and comments or outlines of points you think you want to have covered. What I was going to do is start just working on a sort of like a summary or outline of everything we sort of covered, and then just pulling out what I think are the most important points, things that the city's been doing, but then the things that the city should look at doing, kind of things. And then I'd be, curious to see what everybody else thinks. And then hopefully that gives us some starting points for discussion about how we want to pull a plan together. So what I'm saying is we've got some time in January to, maybe spend thinking about this and putting some thoughts down. And if you want to share those through our city email accounts, that would be good. I need to talk to the city, I think, about trying to set up a folder, a work folder, where we can put things in and share those documents. And I don't know how to do that yet. The email system itself is just, you can archive emails, but that's about it. So what would really be
file sharing.
Yeah. So I'm going to see what we can do about that to try to make our work, more efficient. Now that we're getting into the, let's crank out a product phase.
Yeah. Thank you for looking into that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so item number 4 then is just discussion of the Sustainability Commission's goals, objectives, climate resilient planning, document process. I kind of talked about that a little bit already. So that's really what I'm kind of looking at. I noticed, we have mentioned things like we'd like to have a public participation process. So, if you got some thoughts on that, and in particular, how we would go about doing that. What kind of, ways do we want to use? But again, I think for now, we want to sort of catalog everything we've done to date, and then sort of your thoughts on what stands out as far as the things we've accomplished, but the things that we need to do, and then eventually we're going to be making recommendations to the council. What do you think? And so tonight's meeting is kind of a good example, of good things we've done in the past for sustainability, working on energy efficiency and how that's also helped our city budget. And then also, a strong message that we need to continue using focus on energy in the future and how that can help us with sustainability and resiliency. But then, what else? What else do we need to do? And I guess the other thing is not to talk too much, but, we met with the university last month. There were some good ideas that came from those folks about, what we should think about, what we could do, how we could collaborate with others. So that's all I wanted to say on all of that. And so I'm going to come up with a way to, I'll talk to the city and try to figure out what we can do as far as sharing documents. Okay, is there anything else, or did anybody have any comments on those items, or? Okay, got the thumbs up from Sam? Okay. If not,
Oh, Nathan raised his hand.
oh,
Nathan, do you have a comment?
Yeah, if I may, if I would hear what was going on, I might have registered my interest to speak earlier. I guess I could email my thoughts to the chair if people would prefer, but in a moment I could give you all a hint of what I'm thinking to suggest in 3 minutes or less, if that would interest you.
yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I guess in a nutshell, to me, sustainability, and Nathan Sandbeck, I live at 633 Portage Street. Sustainability is largely about making sure we can find a lasting value in what we create today. So a key benefit is delivering essential assurance, I think, especially for discerning investors, discerning taxpayers. That's what we want. In the long run, nobody's well served by short-sighted investors. So, I view sustainability as a critical lens. It needs to be applied not just to a small subset of green projects, but also to the decisions that really shape how the city will spend millions in the years to come, and also how the major ways that the city is attracting investment from the private sector that will shape the development of our community in the years to come. So with that in mind, to me, the current opportunity for the Sustainability Commission to really be influential is to help guide the city's comprehensive plan update. I see that as probably the greatest opportunity that is currently underway. And within, so focus on the comprehensive plan. Within the comprehensive plan, to me, 3 elements that stand out as prime candidates for you to influence are the section on economic development, the section on transportation, and the section on future land use. I already kind of spoke to the importance of attracting investors by reducing certainty, especially discerning investors. I think those are the ones that are going to serve us the best in the long run. So the more our economic development strategy as a community can cultivate that and provide that kind of assurance by offering, hey, we thought about the lasting value of everything we're doing, and here's how you could fit into that puzzle. I think that would be great. I think that would work as a great motivator to attract both investment and people. And transportation, I think nobody's got a crystal ball. If you told me that you knew what our transportation system will look like in 10 years, I'd say you're delusional. And we'll be living, the fact is we'll be living with, and possibly paying off today's transportation infrastructure investments for longer than a decade. So, what we choose now as far as transportation infrastructure, we're going to be living with it long into the future, which we don't know what it looks like now. So the best way to plan the future, to predict the future is to help plan it. I think doing so with a sustainability lens will be really important. In future land use, we already talked about the importance of zoning, and of course the comprehensive plan is going to provide the sense of purpose for whatever the zoning code looks like. So I think you already understand the importance of all that, so I don't need to harp on that. So what that means, I think, for next meetings, one thing is, one way you could possibly consider engaging with the comprehensive plan effort is to invite staff who are working on that from the Northcentral Wisconsin Regional Plan Commission, possibly invite some expertise from the Center for Land Use Education that might be relevant as well. At another future meeting, you might want to consider doing some kind of really intensive alternative futures workshop, one way or another. And those are just a couple ideas that come to mind for how can we meaningfully engage and I'd say breathe some really energetic life into the comprehensive planning effort. So it's not just something that's just kind of happening behind the scenes, but is incredibly influential. That it's something that, hey, we thought about this and we're actually doing what we said we were going to do for the last decade, which is incorporate a lot of principles from the eco-municipality plan, and let's make that part of the next comprehensive plan update. So that's kind of where I would put my thrust if I were in your shoes. So with that, I'll kind of wrap up my comments for today.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. And just as a suggestion too, if you do have time to type those up and if you want to send them to me, that would be great. We do have these meetings recorded, but I think that's a nice summary you gave of some important things we should focus on.
Yeah, just a suggestion from left field. So yeah, thanks for everyone's willingness to serve on the committee and do the grueling work of monthly meetings. So thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Nathan. Are there any other questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will so motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carried, and we stand adjourned at 6:29.